I always wondered where this take the bumper off to replace the headlight thing came from, and it looks like it was the Japanese. What's going on, guys? In the garage with the Toyota pickup truck. Had to swap out the headlights, and to swap out the headlights you have to take off the grill and the bumper. But you got to take the bumper off because the grill rolls behind the bumper just to get the headlights out. And I already had new headlights in, which I'm just going to show you guys what we had. So these are the headlights, and I don't recommend them because they didn't work. They're wired wrong or something like that. They never did work. I messed around with wiring trying to figure out if it was an issue with the truck. It's the lights. They don't work. I don't recommend them. Don't buy them. If you see them on Amazon, they're not worth it. There you go. With that said, we just went with an old gem of the early 2000s, which are these basically crystal headlights. We did go with an Oxydo. With an Oxydo LED lamp on the inside because you guys know I love them, and they have been a sponsor of the channel for a little while. So this wasn't a sponsored video, but because they have treated me so well over the years and their products always work, we went with the H4 replacement direct swap. You can see it in there. You see the LED crystal or LED chips in there. And just to show you guys, Oxydo has it figured out. Low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam. So yeah, there you go. So they actually do function as they're supposed to, as they're intended, and they are Modbus, so they don't cause any issues with your body control module. So there you go. Let's figure out bring you guys up to speed on where we're at on this truck. So gotta get ready to put the grill and the bumper back on, and I got the new headlights in. Finally swapping out the lamps to amber, which those are the 1156As. In case you guys are wondering, that's the single filament amber bulb. We'll put those in the turn signals since they're clear down here in the bumper, and that'll take care of rounding out the front end. Got to go through and charge the AC system. Actually, the AC system's charged. I think it has a bad pressure switch. I did troubleshoot that. I've got to get an extension for the high side line back here because, as you see, there's no room to get the connector on because it's so close to the body of the AC compressor. So we'll put a high side extension on there. Then we will check the pressure switch, which, if you guys know where the pressure switch is on this thing, let me know. I've not been able to find the pressure switch on this truck. My thought was that it was right here, because some of them claim it's here, some of them claim it's here, some claim it's on the high side line, which is this line that runs down this way and goes up into here, and they said the pressure switch was somewhere up in this area, which I also have not seen a pressure switch anywhere. So maybe it's inside the cabin, I don't know. But I'm running out of hose, and I'm also running out of time, so I may just send to a shop to do that because it shouldn't be this complicated. Well, 4-cylinder, and yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. Aside from that, we are working on the audio on the inside. Picked up some inexpensive but reliable Bolt Audio 4-inch speakers. We're going to put those in the dash. And I've got a stealth sub that's going to go underneath the seat. The seat has still got to be recovered because, yep, there's a tear right there. So we'll do that and just get it cleaned up. And I think that's it. I got the wheels and tires mounted. You guys saw that already. I ended up having to get another wheel spacer or adapter for this side because this wheel's sticking out a little too far. So we are going to go through and take care of getting the wheels sitting properly in the back because right now they're not. And I did not want to go any further out on the other side because the further you go out in your wheel spacer, the more you upset the suspension of the vehicle. Had to put those on the front because the wheels that were ordered with the truck, or the wheels that the owner had for the truck, the offset was wrong and the grease cap was actually sticking through the center cap. So because of that, we just had to do some adjustments. And I went with the smallest size wheel adapter you could get where it would clear the dust cap. Essentially what I did. So I think it was like 19 millimeters was as small as I could go to make everything work. So that's done. We're going to put the front end back on, take care of the audio, and should be good to go. Just a basic 2-speaker setup on the audio again. 2 4-inch speakers there, and just one of these hide behind underneath the seat subs. There's not a lot of space in these trucks at all. I mean, you can see where the truck seat sits at. There's like no space between there, so we went with something that we could just stick under the seat, and it should work fine. It'll give them a nice audio sound for this small cab. It should be fine. Just a lot of wiring and little things to do to get this thing wrapped up. Oh yeah, and pull the seat and do the seat cover. So I ordered a seat cover from a company in California. I'll put their name on the screen. It's not a sponsored video, and I'm just going to tell you guys the truth about the stuff for this truck and what I've gone through. The seat cover took over a month to show up. It's from an upholstery shop, which is fine. Like, it takes time. The thing that I was disappointed about was the fact that they never responded to any emails after I waited about 3 weeks and I hadn't heard anything, and then all of a sudden they ship it. So that was a little shady, I guess. It's just not very good customer service, especially for an upholstery shop that's been in business for over 45 years. I think there would have been a little better communication there, but nonetheless, they did give me the seat cover finally. It is the right size. I've got to remove this one. It's a hog ring seat cover, so I got to remove it. The original seat cover and then put the new seat cover on. Should be fine. I don't see any issues there. I haven't pulled the seat out, of course, to make that happen. And I think that is it. So if you haven't ever seen a video on how to remove the radio on these trucks, it's a little bit complicated because you got to like pull all these lower panels off, and then you got to pull the HVAC panel off, just the panel and the knobs off, to get the radio bezel out. It's bizarre, but anyway, we're doing a single den power acoustic, I believe, head unit that's just basically something that's very easy to use that you don't have to look at because the radio sits way down in the dash and it syncs with the phone. All that stuff should work. So hopefully everything will go smoothly and it won't be anything complicated. And we're going to go with one of those mount on the mirror rear view cameras and front view cameras, because I didn't want to have a monitor down here where you can't see, like when you're backing up, you'd be looking down and not looking kind of like up. So this didn't make sense to me. So we're also going to add that on there. I think that wraps up everything for this truck for now. We did add a new radiator that's proper size, new fan shroud because the other one was broken, replace some hoses there. I've got to fix one of the hoses back here because it actually blew apart on me when I was test driving this truck. This one right here, this hose clamp was not up here. It was like way down in there somewhere. And this mount, I believe, is supposed to be mounted up on the firewall where that little stud's at. So I'll get that properly mounted because somebody, I guess whoever did the engine work, pulled it out, put it back together. Never had the hose clamp on there, and I was driving this thing, put gas in it, and that hose blew apart. And I had no idea where the coolant was coming from. And it literally was coming out of the back of the engine, and it was because somebody didn't put a hose clamp back where it needed to go. Fortunately, I didn't overheat the truck and blow the truck up because that would have been terrible. So if you get it back from a shop and they've done some work, you better make sure they did it right. That's all I can say. I think I also have a time lapse. Just try to time lapse a lot of this stuff. And of course, show you guys the final product.